Today I wanted to give you a few traveling tips to Phuket. So Breeze is gone and now I can get started with my tips. Tip number 1, stay at a resort. Now, Phuket is a city where there's not really a lot to do regardless of whether you're traveling with family or friends or significant others. There isn't a lot to do. And if you stay at a resort, it essentially means that you can do a whole bunch of stuff without actually having to leave your accommodation. There are a couple of activities that you can do, which I will talk about a little later on in the video. But I would highly recommend staying at a resort. Tip number 2, insect repellent. Now, Phuket is a city where you cannot go out without pretty much bathing in insect repellent. There's an elephant safari activity, which is I can't remember how far it was from where we stayed. But sorry, I've got fur all over. But you need insect repellent. There's way too many bugs that can potentially bite you, and these bugs can be, can cause a lot of harm. So you have to have these like bathed in it, especially on the day you're going for an elephant safari, because you kind of go into the forest just a little bit, and honestly you literally could see those little annoying flies just around you, but because we had the insect repellent on, they would just fly off or whatever. It was horrible. It smells really bad. The smell of it is just disgusting. It would take me a good 30 to 40 minutes just to put it on, because I needed my time putting that on. That's how much it would stink. Now, what you need to ensure is that check with your hotel if they keep them, at the hotel. Sometimes it might be complimentary, sometimes you might have to pay a small price for them. The Western Sirebe had it at the hotel, and I think we had to pay a small price for it. So you really, really need to make sure it should be on your essentials checklist, and you need to make sure you've actually got it. Otherwise, you can do some serious damage to yourself. Tip number 3, Phuket can be very hot and humid. Emphasis on the very. Now, if you are someone who cannot handle the heat easily, please plan your day out accordingly. Maybe go out, after the sun's gone down, or like early in the morning, and then head back to your hotel in the afternoon, because a lot of people, they don't deal with the heat very well, my dad being one of them. And when that is the case, it just becomes much worse if you do plan an entire day outside. Some people can easily adapt to changing weather, like me. But some people, they will never be able to adjust to the heat. They just get cranky and irritable, and that just makes the entire trip go down south, my dad being one of them. So my suggestion would be either to chill around the pool during the day. There will always be an indoor pool, or like a covered pool. So chill by the pool, have a few drinks, and then go out in the evening when the sun's gone down and it's relatively if you heard that was Breeze's sign. When it's relatively cooler, or if you have planned, the elephant safari, when you have to go out during the day, just make sure you carry one of those pocket fans, or like keep yourself hydrated so that there is no issues that pop up later on. Tip number 4, duration of stay. Like I said, Phuket doesn't really have a lot of things that you can do, so you might choose to, stay a shorter period of time and use Phuket as one of those destinations where you break your journey and re-energize yourself, and then set off onto your next few destinations. Or if your purpose is to, calm yourself and just find some sort of peace in life, go to Phuket, find that. Otherwise, what some people also tend to do is they tend to island hop, especially around Thailand and Indonesia and stuff, where basically you go to like one island, stay a day, go to the next island, stay a day or two, and explore like that. So that is also an option with Phuket. Tip number 5, the breakfast option. Now, you've probably heard me say this in some of my previous videos, that wherever you can, try to take the breakfast option with your room, especially if you're traveling to Asia, to any cities or countries in Asia, you want to take the breakfast option. So we, because we stayed at a resort, we basically had 8 restaurants in the vicinity, and these 8 restaurants were all different types of restaurants. There was an Italian one, there was a Thai one, there was a Japanese one, and we just kept charging it to the room, but the breakfast was already paid for, and you know, it does help a lot having that one meal already paid for and not having to worry about going out and about on your day and, you know, just stopping in between to find some breakfast and then continuing on. So these were my traveling tips to Phuket, and you know, if there's anything specific you want to know, leave them in the comments below or click me an email and I'll respond to you as soon as I can. If you found these tips helpful, please click on that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. And in case if you're wondering why I'm struggling to speak, this is what I'm shooting next to. It is difficult when there's a ball of cuteness next to you. But anywho, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.